years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. Finally. Third-generation star Dale Earnhardt Jr. brings him to the flag. Checkered flag waving. It's over. It's Earnhardt.
He's going to do it. He's going to win the race and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. California's Kevin Harvick does it.
You are the 2014 Truck Cup champion.
The 24-year-old from Dawsonville, Georgia, is about to join his father, Awesome Bill, in elite company. Chase Elliott is a NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Ah! Ring that sign, boys! Yes!
And the 1991 winner of the Daytona 500 is Ernie Irvan, the Morgan McClure Chevrolet.
Did that not seem like a shorter honk this week?
It did.
It was like honk.
What's up, everybody? Clean Air Show. Phil, PL was 29. My boy AJ over there, One Lug TV. Happy to have everybody. Finally, we're live, bro. We're live.
Dude, this is weird. It's weird being live again. We actually have current things to talk about for once.
I know.
It doesn't feel like as soon as the show uploads, it's like dated already. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Ready for Bristol?
What's going on, Patrick? Welcome in. Welcome one, welcome all. I had a celebration of life this morning, so that's why we're kind of a little bit late today. And then Phil texted me last night saying that he wasn't working today or he was off today, and here we are. Honk.
Honk.
So we're about like an hour away from Cup race starting, so we're going to literally like roll on in to the Cup race. I guess, Phil, I should start with the car number 3's car history. Currently driven by Bubba Wallace, 2311 Racing. He's got a couple wins in the machine. Ty Gibbs ran it, if you don't remember, when Bubba Wallace would transition to the 45 after Kurt Busch got out of the was out due to injury. Old Mr. Excitement raced in the 23. Old Jimmy Spencer has 157 starts in the 23 from 1995 to 1999. Drove the Smokin' Joe's Ford, ran the Winston Noble car. I'm sure you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Doug Yates, no relation to Robert Yates, started in the 23 61 times from 60 to 62. Old Hud Strickland, old DNQ Hud Strickland, drove the 23 for Travis Carter in 94 and later Bill Davis Racing from 01 to 02. Had 52 starts and only one top 10 in the number over all those years. From 2002 to 2003, Kenny Wallace drove the 23 Bill Davis Racing Dodge in 46 races from 02 to 03. And I'm going to struggle with this name. Eddie Bierschwale?
Nailed it.
Was a driver from San Antonio, Texas, who drove the 23 car fielded by a team he and his brother owned. Eddie made 43 starts in the 23 from 88 to 92. I'm sure a lot of you remember the revolving door of drivers that BK Racing had with the 23. I'm just going to list some of the names of Alex Bowman.
I was going to say, is this like a one of those, what was that other team that we had a couple weeks ago?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, what was it? Like everybody drove it. Oh, I can't remember.
Was it the 13 car?
I don't think we did this for the 13. We started doing it on the 20. So was it 21?
Might have been. No, because 21 would be Wood Brothers.
Did we start doing it on 9? No, we started doing it less than that. We did it for the 18. I don't think we did it for the 17. So it'd be 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
So it must have been the 19.
Might have been the 19. I'm just going to list like all the names that drove for this thing. Alex Bowman, JJ Yaley, Jeb Burton, Gray Galding, Corey LaJoy, David Reagan, Alan Day, Ryan Sieg, and Joey Gase all drove it for BK Racing. Also, Blake Jones. I don't know if I said him yet. So there you go. BK Racing just fielded a shit ton.
Who's Blake Jones, dude?
In 1986, Michael Waltrip drove the 23 Kool-Aid Hawaiian Punch in Pontiac 33 races during his rookie season. He finished second to Alan Kawicki in Rookie of the Year standings. Frank Mundy drove the 23 Studebaker for 24 races in 1951, earning 2 of his 3 career wins. Al Keller started the 23 a total of 15 times, split between 52 and 54. Got 1 of his 2 career wins in it. Some other notable names. Phil, there is no Dick reference here. However, we have a favorite of yours listed in here. Scott Riggs was in the 23 for 20 starts. Dave Blaney for 6 starts. Shane Meal for 5 starts. Mike Skinner for 5 starts. Wendell Scott, 2 races. Bill Lester, 2 starts. Butch Gill in 1 start. Frank Kimball, 1 start. Junior Johnson, 1 start. Ned Jarrett, 1 start. And Terry Labonte, 1 start.
None of those are my favorites.
You just had a lot of Bill Lester
I did.
references when we used to iRace all the time.
We
Not
haven't
in any bad way. It was just you'd always bring up Lester, and I always said Bill Lester.
we haven't mentioned it, and we haven't said this phrase, but man, was that BK Racing list a whole lot of non-driving fucks. Dude. Wow.
In our group chat, we honest every time there's a caution, and depending on who it is, there's always one of us saying non-driving fuck or driving fuck.
Dean Thompson.
Non-driving
fuck. Dude, and I'm just gonna go ahead and give that Sheldon Creed and Brennan Poole wreck. That's gonna be big junk for the
That's
week.
big junk for Bristol. We haven't even gone over Martinsville yet. Man. Oh wait, we were in Darlington last weekend. I put in the description Martinsville, but it was Darlington last weekend.
Where you been, bro?
Dude, it's been a weekend. It's been a freaking weekend. I was about to start going over Martinsville like it was something that we haven't already talked about. I'll have to fix that later.
Sammy Smith, non-driving fuck.
Sammy Smith. There you go. I'm going to have to fix my camera because it keeps picking up the light in the background. There we go. We're brighter now. Not up here are we brighter, but visually we're a little bit brighter.
We're definitely not brighter there.
I'm at least dressed nice for the occasion.
You do. You look nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what's going on, Phil? What's new in Phil's world?
Same old, same old.
Same old, same old.
That's
I'm going over the 24 for next week, and it's a pretty short list.
Jeff Gordon,
Chase Elliott, William Byron. I'm trying to see if we have any references next week, though. Oh, it comes back next week, buddy. It comes back next week.
We get Dick back?
We get Dick back.
Bringing back the Dick next week.
So, little fun fact, because I have it behind me and I'm thinking about it. I came across this on eBay.
Oh yeah, you showed me this.
Little Dale Jr. 2004 hat. Dale Jr. Budweiser, but on the back, Daytona 500 champion. It doesn't fit right.
Fitted.
I'll never wear it because it doesn't fit right. Like the crown of the hat, like folds down. It's just not my style. Like I like the big top end of the hat.
Yeah, I'm a big trucker fan kind of guy.
Yeah. Like it fits right. I don't know. I wear that and it makes my head look way too big.
I mean, that's not hard to do.
Jesus. Hey, I've got an iRacing win at Las Vegas this week. Do you?
Touche.
Phil and I ran an iRacing league this week that I don't know if we'll ever run again. Not fun.
When I tell you these guys Daytona couldn't get past the start finish line at Daytona without wrecking, like we wrecked 3 times on a restart before we even hit the start finish line. I got out and led one, and then I got right reared.
Nobody could pace. That was half the problem. Everybody was getting black flags for passing under yellow because when there was a caution, people wouldn't go in their right positions. It just wasn't a great time.
Shit show. I even told him it was a shit show.
You did come over the radio and said that this is a shit show. But yeah, man, Darlington last weekend. We went over the Xfinity race, right? We recorded after the Xfinity race.
Yeah.
So we just have the Cup race to go over, which I gotta say, but I guess I expected more out of Darlington, and I just didn't get it. It was nice seeing Kyle Larson, greatest driver in the world, that I keep getting told not do great on the opening laps, and then proceeding to cause a race changing caution at the end because, again, he's the greatest driver in the world.
Denny's pit crew just.
Denny's pit crew was on it.
What was that, 9.3 or something like that?
I said last week, Denny gets his wins in bunches, and this is usually that stretch. I wouldn't be shocked to see him win today, especially if tire fall off is what it was in practice, although they put down the PJ1 again. We'll debate that. I hate when they put that stuff down. Just let the racing be natural. You know, PJ1 to me feels like a Band-Aid fix.
I don't want to see everybody bottom feeding. I want to see the top.
Yeah, the top needs to be rubbered in.
You know what I mean? Like they're PJ1ing right down on the yellow line, so it's going to be, for the most part, you're going to have to root somebody up off the bottom like they were doing yesterday. I mean,
right.
That's not good racing. That's follow each other around, and when you're quicker, let's use the bumper and get by.
Bristol, how I remember it, was always the bump and run was key. Sure, the leader had an advantage because they were the leader, but once like lap traffic started showing up, the second place guy'd catch up and throw the bumper and then take the lead.
Oh, dude, I remember Rusty and Dale, Jeff and Kenseth, Jeff and Rusty.
I was going to say Jeff and Rusty.
Jeff was usually
everything.
Involved. Yeah, Jimmy Spencer had a couple there. You know,
Jimmy Spencer had to run in with Kurt Busch there once.
Yeah, all Mr. Excitement.
Where does Jimmy Spencer fall on the driving versus non-driving list for you? It's a tale of two careers for him.
In all honesty, like early 90s, like mid 90s, when he was with the 27 car and he was winning when he was in that McDonald's car, he won at Daytona. He won a couple other things. Like I thought he was going to do something in Cup, but he never did. But I think he is one of those guys that you could put him in the Busch series and he could win no matter what.
Right.
I wouldn't consider him like a bushwhacker because it wasn't like Kyle Busch and Harvick and them guys that could win in both series, but Jimmy
he was like Cole Custer.
Yeah, he could go in the Busch series and win whatever the hell he wanted.
Cole Custer's one of those. John Hunter Nemechek's another one. Like those guys that leave Cup go down to the Busch series and
Justin
look good
Allgaier, with all due
Justin
respect.
Allgaier. Elliott Sadler. Yeah, I can agree with that.
I mean, it sucks to bring it back up, but you know, like Corey LaJoy's comment, racing in front of 12 fans and blah 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 whatever, but you got to remember that's all
he says that and he's going to proceed to run 38th today,
but that's all his dad was a Busch series driver. I mean, how are you going to talk shit about that?
Right. No, I guess Darlington was just disappointing to me. I expected so much more and just
was. I really hoped it stayed green because I wanted to see Blaney. Blaney had such a car, man.
Another week where we're sitting here talking about how Ryan Blaney gets kind of screwed out of a win. You know, it's almost like the story of the season for that 12 team.
Yeah.
And they've been in the running. That's the brutal part is you can't say like the car's quick. They're just not there. They're not, executing like it's there. It's just all circumstances out of Blaney's hands and the crew's hands that just keep costing them.
And then Bubba spinning Larson out again when Larson lifted for a wreck that was 100 yards in front of him.
Larson lifted like he was about to break at Bristol. Or Martinsville, I guess I should say. Maybe that's where I got the Martinsville idea from.
That's greatest driver. I saw it this week, like you said, greatest driver in the world. Don't get me wrong. The man is a driver.
Oh, he's a wheelman.
But you got to remember these guys are still human and they make mistakes and shit happens. Like they're not going to be perfect every race. And that's what their fans expect. You know what I mean? That's the difference between true fans and, these guys who are incoming into the sport now.
Don't I know it? But just because of my fandom means that I'm gonna rip on Larson every time he has something happen to him.
I'm that guy that great dude. He's a wheelman. Put him in anything he can win. You know, it's just his attitude does it for me.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I can definitely get behind that.
He wants everybody to bow down to him because that's the way I see it.
Yeah, and it's kind of been the story of Larson. Like even when he was racing for Ganassi, it was a lot of the same stuff. You know.
But yeah, to go back to Darlington though, Denny taking the win, like we said, Byron having the dominant car of the day.
Yeah, I thought Byron was going to lead every lap and win the race. I really
Yeah.
thought that at one point there was going to be a caution that came out late in stage 3 that was going to have him pit. He's going to come in and then come out just leading every lap.
I quit watching for a little bit because I'm like, man, this is boring. You know.
I took a nap and the guy was still in the lead when I woke up. I'm like, Jesus, man.
But C-Bell, probably the most consistent driver right now, coming out with a third. Reddick, Blaney,
And
Busher.
Bell was not a third place car for a
No.
majority of that race. That caution in between stage 2 really flipped the running order around because like Chase, for example, was running like 23rd all day. And because he was up in the front when that caution came out, it let him kind of stay up in that top 15 range for the rest of the race.
And then Chase, Gibbs, Bush, Cindric, Zane Smith, Logano, Gilliland, Suarez, Ty
Shout out
Dillon.
Ty Gibbs for a second.
Yeah.
He's put a couple solid weeks together now.
Finally, another top 10.
We'll see today. He's got a good starting spot today. But I think today's going to be all about tire management.
Dude, he's got to have something go his way because the luck for him this year is just ridiculous. Like he's been caught up in somebody else's crap so many times, you know?
Right.
Homestead, he got stuffed in the fence again. Let me see. Where were we? Ty Dillon, 16th. Eric Jones, Allmendinger, Gregson, SVG with a top 20. SVG been struggling lately. Trackhouse in general.
Yes, Trackhouse in general. You hit
Look
the
at
nail
where
on the
they
head.
qualified today, man. They're all at the back.
I mean, I saw the qualifying order today. I saw Logano back there.
Yeah.
Today. I mean, there's a lot of big names in the back today.
At a track that's tough to pass at.
Yeah, but I think that if the tire fall off is anything like what it was in practice and what they're expecting, like I don't necessarily worry about qualifying position because it's all about saving your tires. Just don't get lapped early and you'll be fine. But
that's tough when you're the last cars and you know
when you're Joey Logano, who qualified what 39th?
Yeah, and you're starting coming out of what are you like mid backstretch?
Yeah,
and the leader's
already coming through the corner by the time you're getting rolling.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I think we'll see like 20 laps into this run, the first run, what tire fall off is going to be today. That's going to be the big story today. I keep saying it. It's going to be the big talking point.
We're going to have a competition yellow or?
No, don't have a competition yellow. Don't even do that. Let these teams figure it out during the race. That's what made last year's spring race at Bristol so interesting. It was nobody expected it.
Uh-huh.
And now to hear Larry McReynolds yesterday say that it was worse this year in practice than it was last year, like good. We need tire fall off. To spin that narrative away from horsepower, you need to have tire fall off. I think they should have both. I think there should be a softer tire with more horsepower, but that I honestly doubt at this point we're ever going to see it happen. But did you see who came around this week on that conversation?
Kevin Harvick.
Larson was saying that they need more horsepower.
Well, Harvick said something about 750.
I think 750 is the answer.
Give them 750, let them eat. Put it in their hands. Like you can have all the power you want, but if you can't put it down to the ground, that's
750 with a softer tire is going to make all the difference in how these races play out. And I think you'll honestly see more comers and goers than you would with this current package.
Do you think this is a tire problem or do you think this is a setup problem?
I think it's a combination of both. I think that Goodyear's been on this thing for the last couple of years where they don't want to see tires blowing nonstop. It's bad for their sponsorship of it. It's bad to the consumer who's looking at it saying, okay, well, these tires are falling off, yada, yada, yada. However, nothing is a good replacement for good racing, especially in a racing series. NASCAR being the premier racing series in North America, I'd say you need a good product. You want entertainment, and we talk about how this is turning more into an entertainment industry than it is an actual sport or racing industry. Well, there ain't nothing more entertaining than watching a guy who's managed his tires for the last 50 laps catching up to a guy who's kind of done a little bit more poor in that department, and seeing that big pass happen. That's just
And there you got to work for it too, though.
Right. I mean,
know,
the
you
other
can catch them all you want, but getting by them's another story.
The other issue we have is we don't have multiple grooves like we once used to. There are tracks with multiple grooves and some that work better than others. However, you can look back at any race back in, even the late 2000s. A guy could be running the bottom and he's making that pass on the guy who's running the top and whose car's dialed in at the top. Like it was just, I don't know, they're just better.
There's not a lot of people who can go up top at Bristol the way it is now because there's so much marbles and junk up there. I mean, I think you'll see Larson play up there. I don't think you'll see him go all the way to the top, though.
I guess this is a good transition into the truck race because Larson was talking about how his car was handling at the top and he tried it and it just didn't work. Chandler Smith was able to pull away at the end and get the victory, which, by the way, truck race almost gave the Xfinity series at Martinsville a run for its money. And being just an absolute caution fest and people not understanding how to drive a race car.
And they get paid to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. It looked like the freaking iRacing races we've run this week at Bristol with the way that truck race had started through it. But I think the difference you see in the truck series, the Xfinity series, compared to the Cup series at Bristol, is both those series put on a better race. And it's because it's multi-groove. It's, you know what I mean? There's not really a restriction in what those cars can produce. It's just more pure, I guess is the way to put it.
The tire wear in those doesn't seem like it's as important. I mean, like in the truck race the other night, what'd they say? They pitted twice?
Yeah, and I think, well, the truck doesn't put down much power as it is, so you're not eating through tires there. I don't know what Xfinity runs. It's got to be something a little bit more well built. I mean, I know at 1.5 miles, it seems like those cars eat through tires like nothing. I guess the Xfinity for yesterday is a little bit more tough to put into perspective just because Larson dominated that whole freaking race like it was the night race last year for the Cup Series. But I feel like you could do more with the cars in those and make different moves that you necessarily wouldn't be able to make in the Cup side of things. It especially short tracks feels like the Cup Series is just a bunch of follow the leader type deal. And I'm hoping today's not like that. I'm hoping today's like spring of last year. What you got? Nothing.
I was actually sending you a message in our private chat.
Oh, I don't pay attention to that. I don't know why. That's true. I guess we could do big junk now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've realistically gone over.
We never really talked about who we were going to give it to, but I think what I just sent you is kind of a given.
Yeah, I think that's an easy one. If I could pull up the graphic, big junk for Darlington obviously goes to Kyle Larson.
Yep, 100% Kyle Larson.
When I was putting our graphic together today, I was like, man, who got big junk? And then I remembered, oh, yeah, Larson wrecked twice.
You were still thinking about
wrecked the same way twice.
Yeah. Once on his own.
Once on his own, but then the second time was like the same exact wreck. He just got help going there.
I know you can watch him sliding almost in the exact same skid marks.
So the way the schedule's gone, Ty Gibbs for the Clash, Castor Nevins for the Duels, Priest for Daytona, Ty Gibbs again at Atlanta, Denny Hamlin, Circuit of the Americas, Austin Hill, Xfinity at Phoenix, Cody Ware at Las Vegas, Ryan Blaney, Homestead, the entire Xfinity race at Martinsville, and Kyle Larson now at Darlington. And I guess we're saying that Sheldon Creed and Brennan Poole get a tie for Bristol so far. I won't put it in yet because we haven't seen what today brings. But that was a crazy little wreck there.
That was nasty. That was probably one of the hardest hits I've seen in a while.
You know, I saw people on Twitter saying how they don't want to see cars wrecking like that, and that's a bad look, and this, that, and the other. And it's just like, that's such a rare instance of something like that happening that that's why you don't see it so much, and that's why it's brutal when it happens. But you can't just make these knee-jerk reactions when a car wrecks like that. It's racing. It's going to happen, especially at a track that small.
But if you look at the damage on that car did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Yeah. I mean, I saw somebody was talking about how they think, I can't remember who Brennan Poole drives for. It's slipping my memory. But
it's Alpha Prime.
Alpha Prime. They were talking about how that chassis is pretty much done. And I was like, looking at videos and pictures of the car, and I'm like, I don't think that chassis is done. I think the chassis held up just the way it should. It looked like more sheet metal issue to me than anything else.
The only problem is where it did get hit right at that door would bend that center section. So, I mean, it may have twisted the chassis there, and that would kill it.
It may have. And the people posting that stuff have way more intel and knowledge of what actually is wrong with the car than I do from just watching a replay of it. But I thought everything held up exactly the way it should. I mean, nobody was hurt by it. Nobody even complained about it hurt this, that, or the other. It happens. It's racing. These are the incidents you have. And
that stuff happens so quick at Bristol. I mean, coming off the corner, what do you expect him to do there?
Who was it that barely missed Creed out of that corner? And I mean, Creed obviously laid down oil.
You saw a white car. I couldn't tell who it was.
You saw when the car slid down off the track, all the oil it left, like there was oil everywhere. So these guys are slipping and sliding amongst that, trying to get out of the way of it. It's just a recipe for disaster. It's going to happen. It's an unfortunate consequence.
Thank God he hit where he did and not door to door.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, that was kind of like one of those funny moments in the truck race when Majeski was window to window with
Malcolm in the middle.
Was it Frankie Muniz there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like window to window, and I'm
wonder what they're saying to each other.
I'm watching Majeski get out of the car, and he's like using more of Frankie's truck to get out of it.
That wreck really, I mean, it didn't look like they hit that hard to take that truck out of contention.
No, I didn't think so either.
I mean, it looked like they kind of boop, and that was it. But I mean, maybe they hit harder than I thought they did.
They got locked together. I mean, that was the only thing that I'm like, I mean, you could bend the front steering on it that way, I guess. They're not, I don't know. I don't want to speak out of turn and then be completely wrong. Sound like an idiot. I do that enough. But yeah, man.
I was reading this thing earlier, and it was talking about the rating of the Cup program for Colleague for this season.
Oh, I saw this.
They're rating it a B+.
Colleague's been kind of non-existent.
They're 16th, so 17th overall in points.
You know, Patrick brought up a point here. I'm pulling up the comment. Frankie's rookie got a lot rougher Friday night. Rockingham next week and won't be easy. Exactly. And I know that he headed out to Canada today to film the reboot for Malcolm in the Middle. They're coming up to a tough stretch of tracks right now to where I wonder how much that's going to play into his development in the truck and how much, focus
and he doesn't fly anywhere. From what I understand, he drives his truck and camper everywhere he goes.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I'm looking that up. I didn't know that. I mean, Frankie Muniz is known for promoting Spirit Airlines' Go Comfy travel option, which includes a blocked middle seat. In 2024, he shared personal travel struggles with his family, including a lengthy trip with multiple flights and a night spent on the floor at the Dallas airport. He also mentioned spending more time on the road than at home that year. I mean, that's just a promotion. I've got, man, where'd you hear that? Because I want to pull that up. That's wild. Yes, Frankie Muniz does travel in a personal vehicle. He's also a professional race car driver and such. Likely owns drive. AI doesn't help you much in here.
On his Facebook.
On his Facebook.
So on his Facebook, like he bought a new RV not long ago. Let me see if I can find it.
That's just a wild thing. That's a fun fact with Phil right there. It probably stemmed from that airline incident where he's like, you know what? Screw it. I'll just travel wherever I go.
Another little fun fact. Do you know he used to own the Jetta from Fast and Furious?
Did he really?
Yeah.
We're learning all about Frankie Muniz today.
He sold it. 2015. I don't know where I saw that thing, but there was a post of his RV.
Frankie Muniz auctioned off the white 1995 Volkswagen Jetta used in the first Fast and Furious movie for $46,200 at the Barrett-Jackson auction in Scottsdale, Arizona. The car, which was signed by Paul Walker, Chad Lindbergh, and director Rob Cohen, was a piece of movie history and a personal favorite for Muniz, who bought it in 2002. Dude, we got pull your connections, Phil. Let's get Frankie Muniz on the podcast.
So January 9th on Facebook, he made a post and he bought a brand new truck, and it says, got my F-350 dually that's going to take my family and I on incredible adventures. We'll spend most of our time in it this year as we pull our fifth wheel to most of the races, filled with fun exploration along the way.
I'm going to say that he is not taking that truck and trailer to Canada and then to...
No, and it says most, though. Most of the races.
He'll probably take it to Rockingham, though. I'd imagine that's close enough. Look at that. Fun fact with Phil is helping Patrick out today. The Jet from Fast and Furious movie. Learn something new every day.
Listen.
There you go. That's what you've learned here on the Clean Air Show.
Fun facts with Phil, guys. I can teach you all sorts of random shit.
Boxes of Briefs. Find out next week on Fun Facts with Phil.
Depends.
Oh, wow. Sometimes you go to Target, get those on sale. News this week. John Edwards, PR guy for Kyle Larson, Jeff Gordon, passed away, and reading some of the memories and stuff on Twitter, Facebook, and all that was just sad. So hearts go out to that family, that organization. That's tough.
Dude, lots of sad news this week. There was a couple other ones too. Let's see.
Al Pierce.
Al Pierce was another one.
Yeah, there was some big ones this week.
There was another one too. I don't remember who it was. Catherine Legge running more races this year.
Don't get social media started with that.
I don't know. I saw it. Oh, Shaggy Hattori.
Yes. How could you forget that one?
Yeah, Shaggy Hattori, owner of Hattori. What was the name of that Hattori?
I remember, did they win their first truck race at Daytona with Brett Moffitt? Wasn't that their first race?
I believe so. A lot of people drove for him. Austin Hill drove for him.
I mean, remembering Brett Moffitt alone, that's
another one.
Hell's he been doing?
Dude, it's like James Busher back in the day. Wins the championship and then disappears, bro.
Yes. Yeah, that's crazy. That's
But
crazy.
yeah, Shaggy got killed in a car accident in Mooresville, I guess, this week. So they were
That's
talking
crazy.
about that.
That's crazy. I was gonna say I didn't hear what he passed of, but I knew he was a little bit younger.
Yeah, they were talking about it last night on the or Friday night on the truck race. They were talking about it.
Cracker Barrel's named the entitlement sponsor of the Cup race at Nashville. Nice to see Cracker Barrel getting back into the sport.
It's been a long time.
That has been a long time. It was what, 2000 the last time they were associated with it?
Yeah.
See, here's my Cracker Barrel memories. Both before the first race I went to at Atlanta in 2003, we went to the Cracker Barrel just outside the track there. And then at Daytona in 04, there used to be, I don't know if it still is. I think it still is. It was right next to the flea market was a Cracker Barrel. We went to there too. So it's cool seeing something like that that's always kind of been associated with the sport now sponsoring it again, you know. It's cool to see little things like that.
Yeah, I like some of that. I mean, there's quite a few that I've seen come back recently.
You see that post this week on Twitter talking about how, like, you know, what's a sponsor you can't believe has never sponsored a race car with a Doritos logo? And I'm like, didn't they just sponsor a car last year with it was AJ Allmendinger, wasn't it, with Mountain Dew?
Yeah,
It was a Mountain Dew Doritos combination. I'm like, that
AJ
did sponsor.
Allmendinger and Justin Haley both ran them at one point.
Like, come on now.
No, other than that, I mean, we got today at Bristol. Other than tire wear, we don't really have a whole lot to talk about.
No, it's kind of been a little bit of a slow week, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to get, like, it seems like we're moving the show along. It's just because we know the race is starting here. And
How would you feel if
20
you're
minutes.
Ross Chastain and SVG and you got out qualified by Cody Ware and Joey Logano? Logano had to have something go wrong though, because he was like 5 miles an hour off the pace.
Bring up like that back 20 for today. Who do we got in the back like 20?
Chase Elliott, Austin Cindric, Bubba Wallace, Daniel Suarez, Chris Buescher, Riley Herbst, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Eric Jones, Ryan Preece, Todd Gilliland, Noah Gregson, John Hunter Nemechek, Cole Custer, Cody Ware, Ross Chastain, SVG, Corey LaJoy, Joey Logano, and Josh Bilicki.
There's some big names back there in that back half of the field today.
And a big surprise in his Cup debut, Jesse Day Love. Jesse Day Love in 19th out-qualified all those guys, man. Good for
Jesse
him.
Day Love.
Jesse Damn Love.
Jesse Damn Love. David Starr said on his podcast this week he's planning 15 to 20 Xfinity Series races this year. Let's do a scanner last weekend at Darlington.
I was just
I've got
actually
opinions
reading
of
that.
David Starr that predate anything that's happened this year. Homestead. I'm just pissed that Gregson had that race won. Had it won. And David Starr's refusal to not get off the top lane just pisses me off to no end.
Shades of Elliott Sadler. Same
Yeah.
thing that happened to Elliott Sadler at Homestead. Who was it that ran him side by side?
I was
that
going to
time?
ask if it was the same driver, but no, it wasn't. Nope. If you look on our group chat, Victor's up with the 20 car right now. He's going to hide in the trunk. Shout out, Victor.
I know. The chat's been quiet today. All the boys are at Bristol.
I know. Does it not make you feel a little jealous to not be there?
It does.
I kind of wish I was there.
The day
telling
race
Glenn that
is
this
always my
weekend.
favorite, bro. Like, I love the night race, but the day race just adds a whole nother element, and that place is a different animal during the day.
Dude, and it's weird because from all like the crowd shots I've seen this weekend, it hasn't been all that busy.
Mm-mm.
Like truck
But-
race normally isn't packed.
But most
Xfinity
of the
race,
time,
though,
truck, they block off like half the grandstand. So you only have like the front stretch has people. on it.
right.
And then Xfinity, usually they open up a little bit more, and then Cup is fully open.
I just remember like the Xfinity race like when I went to the night race last year and went to the Xfinity race, like it was packed. Naturally, Dale Jr. was driving, so that's half your people there for that. But it just, man, look at that overhead shot yesterday. Like, fuck.
I was there for Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth.
Oh, the helmet throw.
The helmet toss. I was there for that one. Also, Danica and Truex. Danica got out of the car and flipped Truex the bird.
Speaking of non-driving.
Whoa, you can't say that about Truex.
No, I wasn't talking about Truex. That was a driving fuck.
Yeah, back to the David Starr thing. Joey Gase. I was just reading about that. He's got to deal with Joey Gase to run
As
a
long
bunch
as
of
it ain't
races.
David driving the fucking car. Rockingham next weekend. MTJ said at Daytona he plans on entering, and will be interesting to see what team and number on entry list in the coming weeks. Who's the Hendrick driver for next week? throw old Truex in that Hendrick 17. See what he does.
Casey Kane's driving a
That
Hendrick
might
Cars
be
RCR car.
Oh, he's in RCR. Yes.
33 car.
Yes, Kane's with RCR next week. That's crazy. There's no cup race next week.
There's no entry list out. That's because it's Easter, man. It's Easter Sunday.
I guess we'll decide if we're doing a show or not next week. We'll decide that later in the week. We'll keep you guys posted on that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Old boys here. We might need a little R&R too, you know.
It's nice not recording at like 11 o'clock at night.
Dude, I'm telling you. After just a day long of shit and then coming to sit down and do a podcast, it's been a little tough these last couple of weeks. But I like doing it on a Saturday night because then you get the Xfinity race out of the way. You can actually like do your actual show that way.
I want my Sundays back though, and that's gonna happen at work, whether they like it or not.
So you told them today you are taking off.
Yep.
Attaboy.
Took a vacation day.
Attaboy. Trying to see what we got. You want to do picks?
You want to do fantasy first?
I can do fantasy first. I've already filled out my fantasy lineup because I was nervous if I was going to make this in time that I didn't do the fantasy.
I did mine, so I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me pull mine up. Hold on. Brandon's too. I'll give you Brandon's.
You what?
I have Brandon's too.
All right, what we got?
So my picks for today in no particular order. I just say no picks made. I know I picked. All right, let me go to my phone because that's not working. My picks for today is Stenhouse, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Blaney, Carson Hocevar, and Ty Dillon.
Okay.
And I've got Josh Berry in the garage.
What are your matchup picks? Sorry for yawning.
Larson over Denny, Busher over Chase, Brad over Bowman, and Briscoe over Blaney.
We went all opposites there except for the Brad Bowman one. I took a little bit different of an approach this week with Tiger fall off in my head. I went with Hamlin, Larson, Blaney, Bell, Barry, and Kyle Busch in my garage. And then I went Hamlin, Elliott, Keselowski, Blaney. What'd Brandon go?
Brandon went Larson, Barry, Dinger, Briscoe, and Brad.
Okay. I got an updated points list if you want it.
Yeah, sure. Come on with it.
Kyle Larson's iRacing account. Vince holding strong in first. Ryan Schreck second. Manda Love third. One Blue West in fourth. Myself in fifth. Ruggs Motorsports sixth. Dale's Mustache seventh. Door Bumper Not Clear. Brandon eighth. King J Hip in ninth. Mr. Excitement Phil in 10th. Jackhammer JT in 11th. Junior's Wild Bandits 12th. Cole the Bowl 24 and 13th. Casual Chaos in 14th. Priscilla in 15th. Victor in 16th. I almost said it. 17th is Tate. 18th is Josh's Berries. We are trying to find out who the hell that is. So if you are that person, let us know.
I thought we figured out it was Bailey last week.
Is it Bailey? Did we figure that out? It was Bailey. I thought Bailey said he had no login for it, so he didn't think it was him.
Oh, maybe not. I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm holding strong there, man. I'm on the come, if you will.
I'm cracking top 10 finally. Me and Brandon are on the up here.
How did last week go? Damn, Brandon finished second last week. 216. Vince won it again. You finished sixth. Nice. I was seventh. Whoever Josh's Berries is, I don't think has set their lineup since Daytona. What do we got for race picks today? Patrick says his pick is Blaney. Why? If he doesn't get hit by a freaking meteor, he'll be fine, I think. Or any other outstanding issue happening. Oh man, we're getting close to the Masters, by the way. Bryson and Rory are tied. So Bryson's already gained 2 shots on Rory today.
Rory pulled a Blaney, huh?
Rory might be pulling a Rory here. Do I got to pull up who you've already picked so you know?
No. I'm gonna fire from the hip on this one, I think, and we'll pull somebody big out.
So I won last week with Denny. Got the race win there. You went Byron. You were close. I mean, Jesus, you were close.
We dominated. We just came up short.
If there were points for dominating a race, you certainly won that. You have to go with somebody who is good with tire management today. That's how I truly feel. It's got to be a vet. You got to go a vet here.
I'm gonna go AJ Allmendinger.
AJ Allmendinger's a vet. You already picked AJ Allmendinger.
Did I?
Circuit of the Americas.
Son of a bitch. Have I picked Hocevar?
You have not picked Hocevar yet.
Give me Hocevar as my long shot.
Hocevar is your long shot. Well, I mean, your long shot you can repeat.
Give me Larson.
Phil going with Kyle Larson. You're going big here. I'm going to take Keselowski.
In all honesty, you're saying I'm going big, but I think anytime you pick Larson, you're going big. No matter what race I pick him in,
Yeah.
you're
either coming home a winner or you're coming home junked. One of the two.
Right. You know, there's not much in between. And just thinking about how he did in the fall race there.
Yeah, dude. I'm the only reason why I'm taking Brad is it goes back to it goes back to that because of all the drivers that used to race in that area where tire fall off was a thing. Area. So I think Brad fits that description. Like if Truex was still racing, I would have gone Truex. But that's kind of where I'm leaning with it.
I mean, other than that, who else would you pick as a veteran?
Kyle Busch. I just don't trust Kyle and RCR. Like that's what it boils down to. I don't trust that team.
How do you think about McDowell?
I don't think about McDowell. That's the thing. Michael McDowell is like such an interesting case that needs to be studied because race for front row for absolute ever after coming over from MWR. Had a bunch of off seasons. Front row finally got it all together and started putting together consistent cars to where he was actually competitive. But now he's with another team basically starting from the bottom again. And it's looking like McDowell of old again.
It's weird, you know, because like I know I know he came up as a Gibbs development driver. I mean, that means he's no slouch at all, but like he really hasn't done a lot. But this year he's just impressing me. He's there every week.
You sound like little Nicky. Has he ever actually done anything for us? Well, now that I think about it, he ain't done a damn thing.
Get in the flask.
Get in the flask. I wish we had a soundboard on this. Get in the flask.
But no, I mean, other than that, there's not too many guys. Denny may be on tire strategy.
Yeah, Denny's there. I used him last week. I can't use him again until playoffs. It's tough, man.
So what do you think we're looking at today? Follow the leader?
I think early it will
around
be.
the PJ1?
Early it will be. I think you're really going to start seeing what this track does probably at the after the first stage break, maybe getting close to it. Because that PJ1's going to wear out pretty quickly. I think you'll start seeing the top come in midway through that first run. You're going to see a bunch of guys try that top early, and they're going to fall to the back, but they'll get back up there.
It's gonna be tricky. It's gonna be, it's like I said. I think the thing to watch is going to be these big name guys in the back, Logano and Ross, and what those guys do.
Right. This is one of those races where you're coming in blind because you don't know how the PJ1's going to react to everything and what the tires are actually going to do. If NASCAR last night didn't say, you know what, we can't have this happen again, so we're not going to, let's switch these out for a different tire or whatever, what have you. I don't know. It's one of those unknowns weekends.
Yeah, and Bristol's been like that the last couple races, though.
It's weird, man. You get a couple of like really good Bristol races, then you get one dud. Like that's how it goes. And I'm hoping our one dud for a couple Bristol races was last year, and we don't have back-to-back duds. Last year,
Denny Hamlin's daughter looks just like him.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
They were just showing her on when the national anthem's going off.
Dude, we're getting ready to fire up engines, so we're gonna have to get on out of here.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all have fun. Enjoy the race. If
Patrick,
anything,
appreciate you coming in as usual,
Patrick,
buddy.
Absolutely. Thanks for sticking with us, buddy. Thanks for being here. Everyone else, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you follow Clean Air Show on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. Make sure you give us a subscription, follow. If you made it this long with us, you might as well at this point. We're family now. Other than that, we might have a show next week. We might not. Stay tuned to our social medias. We'll let you know. Other than that, enjoy the race. We'll definitely see you for what's after this. Where do they go after Bristol? Is it Talladega? Yeah, Talladega in 2 weeks. We'll definitely see you for then.
Yep, for sure.
I don't know who just responded in our chat, but I'm not even posting those comments because those look like spam comments.
Those are definitely spam comments.
Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you next week, maybe. If not, for sure the week after that. We out you.
Honk.
Oh, I guess we got to bring up Victor for the
yeah, do Victor. You got to do Victor.
We got to do Victor here.